Hi students, Miss Walsh here. So we're going to revise a little bit more about lines, and we need to revise parallel and perpendicular lines. Hopefully you remember that parallel lines will always have the same slopes. And so here in this question, we're asked for an equation of a line that runs parallel to this line, for example, and passes through this point of 2, 5. The first thing that you notice is this is not in the mx plus b form, so we need to change that in order to be able to retrieve the slope. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put the negative y over so it's positive and put the y on this side. So we're going to have 0.5x minus 1 is equal to y, or y is equal to 0.5x minus 1. And so now what we know is we know the slope here is 0.5 or a half. Okay, once we know that, this is good news because now we have a point and we have a slope. And with that information, we can now write the equation of the line, okay? And so we can go to our mx plus b and then substitute our point. So 5, remember x, y, and 0.5. Now 1/2 times 2, half of 2 is just 1. And so hopefully you see that our y-intercept is therefore 4. And therefore, we can now write the equation of the line that's parallel. So our equation is going to be 0.5x plus 4. And this is 0.5x minus 1. Okay, so they're parallel to each other. They're running at the same slope, just will have different y-intercept. Okay, perhaps you remember perpendicular lines from last year. And the perpendicular lines are two lines that intersect at 90 degrees. And they have slope properties as well. And they are, you can add this expression to your notes, they are negative reciprocal. Okay, so you always flip whatever the slope is and change the sign. And so let's try this. So here we're asked to determine the equation of a line that's perpendicular to this and it passes through the x-axis at 4. Okay, so first of all, let's look at the slopes first. And we see that the slope is negative 1/2. Okay, now since we need the perpendicular slope, remember negative reciprocal, we are going to flip. So that's going to be 2 over 1 or just 2 and change the sign so it's going to be positive. And so the perpendicular slope of negative 1/2 is just 2. Okay, now we need a point. Since it's crossing the x-axis at 4, so it's some sort of a line at 1, something like this. It's crossing at 4, so that's like saying that it has the x-intercept of 4. So it's going to cross at 4. So our point is going to be 4, 0. I'm going to erase this because I realize it should be going the other way. Never mind. Okay, so now again, we know our point and we know our slope, and so now we can write an equation. Now I'm going to do something a little bit different. Don't be scared. This is another way to write an equation of a line. And what happens here is you put in the point in here. And this is very often used, so we're just going to do it this way. So this is y minus 0 is equal to 2. It's just, you can still try with the y equals mx plus b, you'll get to exactly the same answer, but I do want you to know this form as well, okay? Because I'm going to use it. Okay, and so we have y is equal to, and now this we have to expand, 2x minus 8. Okay, So that's going to be our final equation that's perpendicular to this line. Okay, two more little things to remember, and that is the distance formula and the midpoint formula. I'm just going to do the midpoint formula first, just because it's very nice and quick. And basically, it's the point that's in the middle of these two, right? All it is you average out the x's and you average out the y. That's all it is. So we're going to average out the x's. And then separately, we will average out the y's. And 2 plus 7 is 9 divided by 2, 4.5. And 4 plus minus 2 is 2 divided by 2 is 1. Okay, so this is the coordinate that lies in the middle of these 2 points. Okay, the distance formula. So there's the formula, and you will always be given this formula, but I did just want to show you that all it is it's just the Pythagorean theorem. Yeah, so this is our 2 points, the 2 and the 4, and 7 minus 2. And so if we think about, I don't know why I used the highlighter, but okay. Okay, and then this way, then you'll end up making a triangle, okay? And so what we have for the distance is just basically your a squared. That's the difference in the x's, and this is the difference in the x's. This is the differences in the y's. And yep, and then we can just go ahead and find that distance right there. So this is like your a squared, b squared, and your c squared, okay? So okay, so the d, what's going on with the pen? Okay, so the distance is going to be the difference in the x's. So it's going to be 7 minus 2. Squared. And then the difference in the y's is going to be careful with the negatives, minus 2 minus 4 squared. And all of this will be under the square root, okay? So we're going to have 7 minus 2, that's 5 squared, so that's going to be 25. And then minus 2 minus 4, that's minus 6 squared, that's going to be 36. And so adding those together, we end up with root 61. Okay, and that's our distance between 2 points. Okay, so and then now you try, you guys just have to do the perpendicular line, and the formulas for these, as I mentioned, will always be given to you. All right, bye.